Shout out to the LDPC, basketball and boxing. Um, let's talk about a couple of things right now, okay? As we get ready for this will be the fourth night of NBA. Well, for some teams, it would be the fourth night. But first off, I'm gonna talk about SGA and Ant Man. Okay, now these two right here have been going at it for quite some time. Uh, Ant Man, of course, is seen as the more explosive, more athletic, uh, and in many people's eye, more charismatic and more exciting player. Okay, and of course he has youth on his side. Okay, just a tad bit. If we going by age, but then more people see SGA as the more fundamentally sound, the more consistent, uh, and also he has the crown because, for one, he is the MVP, scoring champion, and as well as the ultimate trophy, which everybody was trying to achieve, is the Larry O'Brien. Um, he's an NBA champion, which every player wants to add to their resume, or at least the majority of them that come in the league. That's what you come in the league for. Um, this rivalry is intensifying though because uh, you know Ant Man has came out and basically said that it's not messing with his shoe sales, right? As a shot to SGA. Now, many people know that Ant Man's shoe sales are skyrocketing. Um, he has a nice shoe line. Of course, he's with Adidas, and it does quite well. However, SGA is getting the last laugh on this simply because SGA is the champion. He's a Finals MVP. He's a regular season MVP, well deserved, and the scoring champion and everything. So right now, SGA has the bragging rights. Right now for their careers, well, not for their careers, but with them playing each other, believe it or not, they're tied up. According to Atlanta basketball, they're tied up 11-11. Okay, now the edge that, and that's in the regular season, but the edge that SGA has on Ant Man is the playoffs, in which he's 4-1 against Ant Man. Okay, so right now SGA has the bragging rights. Okay, however, however, let's see what Ant Man does this year. Now we know that Ant Man is hurt. We know that he's hurt. He's gonna be out. He's gonna miss some time. That's the thing that SGA has on a lot of these guys is that SGA is never hurt, man. And I I was about to say that about Ant Man, but unfortunately, he has the hamstring injury. And see, with the hamstring injury, you really got to be careful with that because that tends to linger. Okay, and it could be there 1 minute, and then next thing you know, it'll come back again, and it's not something that you really want to play on. You know what I'm saying? Because it could get worse. And once you Once you mess that up, that's pretty much gonna that's gonna mess you up in terms of how how you move and everything, man. It's not something that it's not an easy thing to recover from. So that taking precautions on that. On top of that, you got to understand Ant Man relies on his athleticism a lot. Now, don't get me wrong, he he'll stick out on in the perimeter and shoot, things of that nature. But you are talking about a high flyer in Ant Man. You know what I'm saying? He's very explosive. You're talking about twitch muscle. You're talking about he's really fast and can get up and down the court. The thing about it is though, when it comes to SGA, he just has that knack for scoring, man. Uh, I know that SGA gets a lot of slack for him shooting free throws and him, getting to the line as much as he does and all that stuff. But what about when he's not getting to the line? Okay, let's talk about him aside from getting to the line. You gotta take into account other factors. SGA, he's all over the floor. Okay, now both of these guys right here, I would say they're neck and neck in terms of defense. I would say Ant Man has a little bit of a slight edge, but SGA is a great on ball defender too as well. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna get after the ball too as well. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna just do anything and think that you're just gonna fly by SGA. That's one of the reasons. That's part of the reason why uh, OKC is so good. And I didn't put this. I didn't put this in the title. I didn't put this in the title, but I'm gonna talk about this for a second, right? OKC and San Antonio, and they're starting to mirror each other. You know what I'm saying? Now, we see what's brewing in San Antonio. I'm gonna talk more in depth about this in a separate video, but San Antonio is starting to mirror kind of what OKC is doing. Okay, and I'll explain my reasons why, but I'm gonna just keep it short right here. The reason why I feel like uh, there's a lot of similarities between the two teams is because you have, for one, you have several different guards that are scrappy, that are athletic, that can score. I I would give that edge to San Antonio, but the only difference is that with OKC, their guards are a little bit more smarter and they're better defenders. While when you talk about San Antonio, when you talk about a combination of Harper, Dylan Harper, Sohan, Vassell, and Castle, and they don't even have De'Aaron Fox yet, but they got De'Aaron Fox. It's just it's kind of they're mirroring what OKC is doing. They got SGA, Caruso, Dort. They're without Jay Will right now. They got Isaiah Joe. I don't understand why a lot of people don't talk about Isaiah Joe, but they mirror each other. And then of course, in the front court, you got Holgram versus Wemby, which is that's going to be a rivalry too because Holgram and Wemby don't like each other. But we're going to talk about that in a whole nother video. But I'm gonna focus on SGA, and I'm gonna focus my attention on Ant Man too. Let's hope that this rivalry heats up because we need rivalries like this. Like that, I think that's one of the things that the NBA uh, is missing, and that people want. They want rivalries. They want those matchups. They want these guys to go at each other. You know what I'm saying? It was like when you turned on NBC, or when you turned on even TNT or something like that. You saw the rivalries. Everybody wanted to see T Mac versus Kobe. People wanted to see, even going back further, Barkley Malone. Everybody wanted to see Shaq versus whatever center. People wanted to see Hakeem versus, Alonzo Mourning or something like that. And people wanted to see those those rivalries. And we got to get back to it. And I'm talking about more on if we're talking matchups, we want to see the two guards go at each other because these are this is the best of the guard. Now, Shea is listed as a point guard, but I think Shea is more of a shooting guard in my opinion because of his knack to want to score. You know what I'm saying? Of course, he has the ball a lot, but to me, I think he's more of a shooting guard. But they got him listed as a point guard. Same thing that like they do with Luka. These guys just they can just score the ball. You know what I'm saying? They flat out can score the ball. And see with Ant-Man, he's a two guard. You know what I'm saying? He plays that too. Now he handles the ball too as well. But I think that Ant-Man can come off. He knows how to come off the pick. I think you're going to see a lot more of that as Ant gets older and evolves in his game. You're going to see a lot more of that from Ant. Him being able to move without the ball, things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? That's something that I like to see. Can you move without the ball? Because there's going to be times when you're going to run into defenders that are going to do everything that they can to make it difficult for you. They're going to punch the ball away. They're going to be just an all-out pest. Like if he's playing against a Dylan Brooks or something like that, and they put Dylan Brooks on, your best scorer or something like that, you're going to have to find other ways to assert yourself. So we'll see how that plays out. We're going to see how this rivalry plays out. I want to see both of these guys go at it each other. Like, it'd be great to see Ant-Man if they would ever meet up in the Western Conference Finals, or if they meet up, in the playoffs or something like that. I think it would be great for Ant-Man to shock the world and put out OKC. Now, will it happen? That remains to be seen, and I highly doubt it because I don't think the Minnesota Timberwolves match up well with OKC. So that's how I feel about it. Then let's talk about something else, man. Joel Embiid, man. I was just starting to have faith in Joel Embiid, man. I was starting to ease up on cooking this dude. But just a couple of days ago, man, I seen this quote, and Joel Embiid was going to sit up there and have the audacity to say, "Well, I might as well be at home with my family," or something like that. That he said, basically, complaining about the minutes restriction. I think I talked about this with the brother Cypress TV. Listen, man, you got yourself in this situation, okay? It's not the organization's fault that you came in from the start of your career unhealthy, okay? It's not the organization's fault that you chose to make a decision to play in the Olympics. Okay, when 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 really you were supposed to be recovering. That is your fault. It's not the organization's fault that you did. It seems like you're doing more sitting than you are playing. It's not the organization's fault. It's your fault, Joel. It's your fault. You're on a minutes restriction. Hell, I was giving you your credit for you sitting on the, being on the sideline, actually cheering the younger VJ Edgecombe, who has tremendous upside, and cheering on the team. We're 2-0 right now. Now you could be salty all you want to, but you don't have anybody but to blame but yourself. Everybody thinks that I'm insensitive about injuries and things of that nature. I'm not insensitive about it. But what I will tell you is that a lot of that stuff that was brought on Joel Embiid in terms of where he's at now, a lot of that could have been prevented. A lot of it could have been prevented. But then when I say, okay, yeah, Joel, I'm not going to get on here because he put up like 20 something points the other night. Okay, that's great. We don't need you. Listen, this is the thing about Joel that I've told people. All right, and tonight we're getting ready to face the Magic, which even though the Magic are coming in 1-2, let's see how we match up with them. The Magic have been battle tested. Let's see how we go up against a healthy Magic squad. You know what I'm saying? Because they pretty much, for the most part, got all their people back. That's one thing that prevented them last year from going as far as they went. Let's see how we face up with them. We got some pretty good games tonight too. So Joel Embiid, he got to stop complaining, man. I gave you your props, you know what I'm saying, for you cheering on your team. You know what I'm saying? You don't really need to play that much. Everybody was sitting there criticizing you because they were saying, okay, well, he looks this way and he looks that way. Of course he's going to look that way, man. This man rarely played. And he spent, the off season pretty much healing and recovering. He's still trying to get his legs up under him. If you rush something like that, guess what? You're going to end up in the same predicament that you were probably a couple of seasons ago. That meniscus tear that you've had, and that knee, you consistently have had problems with it. It's always your legs. It's always your legs. You've had a whole bunch of other injuries, but it's always your legs. I want Joel Embiid to be 100%. You knew coming into the season that they were going to put you on a minutes restriction. Now you complaining about it. No, man. No, if you think that you're going to rush and get back to that MVP level that you were playing at and stuff like that, you shouldn't do that, because then you're going to stop the progression and potentially stop the growth. Okay, and VJ Edgecombe, because I think everybody keeps forgetting about Maxey. Maxey is our leader right now. Okay, VJ Edgecombe, he's next in line. Joel Embiid, we're trying to move on. Listen, we have you in the organization, but you know that you need to get right, or else VJ Edgecombe is eventually going to take the reins from you. Or, Maxey is already he's already took the reins from you as the leader of the team. You know what I'm saying? Especially when he spoke out against you about your work habits, things of that nature. Okay, so I'm not gonna sit up here and and feel sorry for you and you wanting to stay at home, with your family and all this other stuff. It's that time of year. It's that time of year. You are supposed to be ready to go. And if you are on the minutes restriction, you need to follow what the guidelines are. What do you want to do? You're gonna go because we're gonna see. Like I said, I'm prepared for the same old song. I'm prepared for it. We're gonna turn around. It's gonna be another, something else going on. Oh, Joel is hurt again. Oh, we got to deal with this. We got to wait on him. We got to do this. No, we don't want to do that no more. This organization is trying to move forward. Yes, we're 2-0. I would like us to be, maybe lose a couple of games or something like that, and eventually be 10-2, sitting at the top of the East. Then eventually get up there, by the break. You know what I'm saying? At 40 games or something like that, 41 games, maybe be at, I don't know, maybe maybe 31-10 or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Be sitting at the top of the East. Then eventually maybe be the second seed or something. Maybe be hopefully we could be the first seed, have home court advantage. And then we're winning in the playoffs. Then get past the second round. That's our whole goal, is to get past the second round. Really, I would set my expectations high, but let's take it one step at a time. We do got people out though. Okay, we got both you. Well, no, not Embiid, but we got McCain and we got Paul George out. So eventually, I would like us to do that, but we got to take it one step at a time. If we're sitting here and we're rushing you to get in there, guess what? That's a recipe for a disaster, and we're gonna end up in the same predicament that we're in. Now we're actually playing with an edge. Maxie looks hungry. Maxie looks like he I ain't gonna say he figured it out, but whether he has you or whether he doesn't, he's still gonna get it done. Because now he has a counterpart in VJ Edgecombe. He's got a guard. He's actually got a guard out there that can actually play on-ball defense, and is only gonna get better with time. And that's what we like. We got some older veterans on the team and stuff like that. They're there to coach you through it. I like what Kyle Lowry is doing on the sideline, sprinkling his knowledge, because whether you like it or not, Kyle Lowry is still a champion. You know what I'm saying? Nick Nurse is still a champion. They have been there and won it. They are championship proven. These guys that are on the team, they're not championship proven. The only thing that Joel Embiid has won is the gold medal, but that was on a team full of superstars and future Hall of Famers and all that. So Joel Embiid got to stop crying. He got to quit complaining. You know what I'm saying? And just enjoy the ride right now. I'm ready for us to be 3-0. That's where I'm ready for us to be. The Magic are coming in 1-2. Let's be 3-0 so we can sit at the top of the East. I know it's very, very early. We got 79. Well, some teams. I know with us we got 80 more games. But with some teams they got 70, 79. Some teams got 78 games. But with us, I'm I'm taking every game more serious. And me as a Sixers fan, I ain't gonna lie, I've been slacking, especially on my other page, which is Straight Sixers News. We're gonna be keeping up with that channel too as well. Listen, we got a lot of things that are gonna be cooking, but when it comes to the Sixers this season, man, a lot of people are really starting to pay attention now. Let's go ahead and get 10 games in. I know usually at that fourth game, that's when they start really putting together, aligning the stats together and stuff, and that's when they start computing what you've been doing. It's usually after 4 games, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see where we're at, and then I would like to see where we're at 10 games. Like I said, I'm taking it every 10 games. That's how far I'm taking it until we get to that 40 game mark, All Star. No, that's when the season begins. That's when the real season begins. So, y'all let me know what you think. Leave your comments, like the video, share it, subscribe, hit the notifications too. Straight to the point. Sports and entertainment. Shouts out to the whole entire LDBC. Basketball, boxing. I'm gone.